So there were three different families, the one with the two girls, the one with the twin boys, and then the Donovan, right? So the mom with the two girls, those two girls were completely different with Friedreich's ataxia. One of them was in a wheelchair, and the mom had to help her get in and out of the bathroom, the shower, the car, anywhere they wanted to go, the mom always had to be there. So it seemed pretty laborious on the mother. I don't remember her mentioning her husband or a father figure in the family, so it seemed or even grandparents or extended family or whatever. So it seemed like a lot of the caregiving, or all of the caregiving, was based on the mother. She talked about how when Samantha, the one who they said she wouldn't live past 17 years old, was imbalanced as a child, walking and hitting door jams, other people told the mom that she was crazy, and so finally she went to the doctor, and the doctor gave her the disorder. And it just kind of goes to show you that as a parent, you should stick with your gut, because you're the only person that knows your family. Another aspect of the disorder was so besides imbalance, it's enlargement of the heart, and to such a large size that it stops working. Ataxia makes that grow at a faster rate. So the girl who loved to play sports, she couldn't play anymore. She had loose coordination in her hands, arms, legs. She had trouble with her hearing, and a curve in her spine. And then her sister, who is a few years younger than her, neither one of them had a cognitive loss, and that's part of the disorder, is that you don't have cognitive loss. So it's I don't want to directly compare it to aphasia, but I want to say it is kind of like aphasia in that you're stuck inside yourself. You're not able to, even though it's not a stroke and you're not paralyzed in that sense, from a brain damage on to one side of your body, but it is being trapped within yourself, because Alex, the other girl, apparently is very insightful. She's a good writer, but in the past 6 to 8 months, at the time the video or the film was made, she had a loss of intelligibility. So it seemed like hers was progressing a lot faster than her sister's, and she was younger than her sister. And all the cases were different. So it was just interesting that a disorder that has one name, kind of like autism, how autism has one name and all these people fall underneath it, but all those kids seem to be different. It's from one spectrum, one end of the spectrum to the other, and that made me think about Friedreich's ataxia, not in that the disorders are alike, but that you can be at one end of the spectrum of Friedreich's ataxia or ataxia, and somebody can be at the complete opposite end, where they're just paralyzed and they can't speak, to where people can understand them or even move, and they're have to be committed to a wheelchair for the rest of their life. But overall, all of the families seem to be pretty hopeful and strong. I know that the last couple, Donovan's parents, the little boy who was, I can't remember how old he was, I think he was 8 or something, but they seemed to be hit more emotionally with it, maybe because they haven't been dealing with it for as many years, or maybe because he's a little bit younger than some of them, the other people. But they talked about being really hopeful for a cure, more so than the other families do. They mentioned something about clinical trials for treatment, that they had cloned a gene, and they were willing to basically have people research him. And I thought that was pretty strong of them, because not only are all the families kind of being robbed of their life. One girl even mentioned that other kids don't understand, and one girl said it hurts physically and emotionally. How does she deserve this? I want a refund on my life. That was kind of the levels that she was going through. But not only are they having to go through all those emotions and kind of loss of their life, they still want to help find a cure. And I thought that was like pretty noteworthy of them, because they have so much other things going on, and it's just like a lot for the family to deal with. So some clinical factors, like talking about how all of the families are different and all the kids are different, how it can progress. Like one of the kids was like wheelchair bound after 10 years, and the other girl is like, one of the girls is still walking. She wasn't supposed to live past 17, but she did. So everyone is just kind of different. And it's amazing that we are able to help them with their speech, and some other things. But so about the assessment and therapy change from a child with ataxic dysarthria to adult with acquired ataxic dysarthria. This makes me think about what we talked about in Dr. Palmer's class. We discussed like babies who are born who need cochlear implants versus adults who lose their hearing. So babies would be habilitating. You would be habilitating them, versus adults who you would be rehabilitating them because they had their hearing and then they lost it. For a child with ataxic dysarthria, if they're very young, then I feel like you would be habilitating them because they haven't experienced all that maybe an adult has in life. And so when they're a kid, they just think that, you know, they're different. Just like the one kid was like, his dad was like comparing him to superheroes, versus the girl who was older who felt like she was being, like she wanted a refund on her life. So the little boy not that he didn't realize to a degree that something was wrong with him, but he almost didn't realize to a degree that like he was so different, or that this was such a strong disorder. But overall, I am glad that we got introduced to this, because I was able to really learn a lot from it. I really enjoyed watching the video. I feel like I learned a lot about just like different families and how disorders are different. But I think that we need to all kind of look at what one of the girls said. Alexandria said her dream is to be happy and to accept it, and that she still loves life. And I think that's something that all of us can do, is just have a good attitude, especially when things are not going our way. But all right, I hope you enjoyed my video.